Hi, you're watching Q&A with CNA. Welcome to another edition. I'm your host, Chelsea Shar, and I'm here with Melissa Coultas. She has recently been named the new CEO of Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. So thank you for coming in today and talking a little bit more about you and the agency. And before we dive in, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us, as we do with all of our guests, a little bit about how you came to CNA, where you grew up and went to school, kind of your journey to this job?
Yeah, of course. So I grew up in Stark County. I went to Jackson High School. I have lived there my whole life, and then went to Kent State University. While I was at Kent, I joined a program called the Washington Program in National Issues and ended up in Washington, D.C. I worked for then Senator Mike DeWine.
Oh, wow.
And then when I graduated from college, the senator offered me a full-time position in his office.
Wow, that's
so,
great.
yeah, it was the best move I've ever made in my entire life. It was exciting, and I actually stayed in D.C. for about 13 years.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was
I did a semester in D.C.
Did you?
And yeah, I really loved it. And I always tell people that, like, we work with interns now, like, do a semester somewhere.
I do the same
even if
thing.
not abroad. Like, D.C. was a huge opportunity,
right?
and yeah, definitely.
I do the same thing. I tell people all the time the average age on Capitol Hill is 27. So it kind of gives you an idea of the majority of people there are really fresh out of college. And
young professionals.
Young professionals that have lived all across the country, all across the world, and it just really opens your eyes to what's out there and what's available. So best opportunity I've ever had. And so I was there about 13 years. Once I got married, my husband and I decided we wanted to move back to Ohio. But while I was there, I left the senator's office and went to what they call the private side. And I lobbied. So my focus was on nonprofits and higher education. And I just fell in love with the nonprofit world. And I knew that that was going to be kind of my lifelong mission.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, and so
that's
moved
really cool.
back to Ohio and just dedicated myself to working for nonprofits. Started working for Meals on Wheels originally. And then ended up at Child and Adolescent Behavioral Health. I was their chief advancement officer. And then I went to the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce for a few years, and I was the VP of Development and Partnership Relations for the Chamber and for the Pro Football Hall of Fame Festival.
Oh, neat.
And then when Joe French resigned earlier this year, I just had the opportunity and a calling to come back to CNA, and that's kind of full circle.
Awesome. Yeah, so you've done a lot in Stark County. Different jobs that are kind of high-profile jobs. Like, everybody knows those groups, the Hall of Fame stuff, and that's really neat. As you mentioned in your bio, you were at CNA in 2018 and April of 2022, and then you went to the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce. What brought you back to CNA, though?
Like I said, nonprofits, but CNA specifically, the mission, I'm so passionate about what we do. I'm so passionate about kids and mental health, and that we have such a huge issue with mental health right now with our kiddos. And it's not just here in Stark County, it's worldwide. And I have a personal passion when it comes to mental health in our kids. And I just knew that this is where I wanted to be. And I never left. I always had, a tug back to the agency. My husband and I have been involved with the agency even since I left as, a personal project for us. And so it was a natural fit.
Oh, awesome. And I understand in multiple talks to staff that you've talked about being a mission builder. So can you explain to our viewers what a mission builder is? Where does that concept come from? What is that?
Yeah, so I think, again, it's a passion of mine that, one, I feel like everybody needs to be involved in their community. I've always been involved in my community. I feel like we all have to find that one place that we just feel so compassionate about. But I also feel for our staff, for the people that are our advocates, and for the community itself, they need to know who we are and what we're doing. And I'm really trying to connect with our staff and get back to that mission and why we originally went into that field. And so by doing that, I'm really trying to remind them of that original reason that they chose that in the first place.
In education, the popular I guess, buzzword is to remember your why and why you started doing that.
The why behind the what.
Yeah, and that really is what gets you through some of the things that are difficult about that work, because it is a really hard, hard work.
Yeah, every day, there's the mundane, there's the hard. We have so much burnout when it comes to mental health and therapy, and we just have to, remember, why we're there.
Yeah, that's great. And what is your vision as the new CEO for Child and Adolescent?
Yeah, well, mission building is huge for us, and we're going to go into the next year really remembering that, and we're going to talk to our stakeholders about that and how they can help and they can become mission builders as well, and with our staff. And we'll be working on our strategic plan for the next 3 years. We'll be launching that, starting that process in January with our staff and with our board. Okay. So I'm really excited to get started on that and just really working with our stakeholders on what the next 3 years is going to look like for the agency.
Great. That's an exciting time for you guys.
And
you have a different lens and perspective, having worked at CNA, then leaving, coming back. So what has changed during your time away? What do you bring back to the agency?
I think it's just a different perspective. I think, opening my eyes, the chamber allowed me an opportunity to see Stark County in a completely different capacity, more of a different role from a business perspective, and just know that there's just so much more out there than, our one little world that we live in. I say that from a little world from, our footprint, but not our impact. Okay. And so our impact is so big and it's so necessary. So we need to figure out how we share that with the community. And I feel like being at the chamber has really allowed me to see how we're going to do that more clearly.
And combining private and nonprofit sector is a really powerful experience for you to have. As the leader of this organization, what are some of the strengths of CNA? What can you tell us about where they are succeeding?
Our staff is incredible. They're passionate, they're talented. The expertise that we have it's just, you can't find it anywhere else. I've been meeting individually with our executive management team. These are our program managers, and I'm blown away by each individual meeting, by how much they know, their passion. And I just really want to share that with our community, and let everybody know like what we really have here at CNA. We also have an incredible board, dedicated, committed, passionate board members. So, and then we've got a community who I have now been engaged with for many years, who is so giving, and they are willing to just dive in and help. And I am on a lot of different boards and committees, and I am excited to tap into that in a different capacity and get them involved.
Great. And what challenges lie ahead? So you have a lot of strengths, but there's also some things that are going to come up.
We have a lot of need in the community, and we have a lot of nonprofits, and we're all tapping into that same well, if you will. And I know that because I've been in this capacity in a lot of different ways. So I think that is a challenge, and we have to really work at how we're going to, expand, funding in different areas, and how we can be, creative in those ways, and just kind of thinking outside the box and doing things a little differently.
Right, that makes sense. CNA has formed many partnerships in this community along with Canton City Schools, Alliance City Schools. What is your background with the agency looking like to form additional partnerships, state level, local level? Yeah,
so that's kind of one of my focus areas. At the chamber, I was also the vice president of partnership relations. Lobbying, that's, you're constantly educating and forming partnerships. It's something I love to do. I love to be out. I love to talk to people and just, get a pulse on what's important to other people as well as what's important to the agency, and seeing how we can help and fill those gaps where necessary. We've got wonderful relationships in Alliance. We partner with the schools. We partner with Mount Union. We partner with local businesses. Aeonian, we've done multiple events there. And so we just want to continue to, grow, work, expand in all of the communities throughout Stark County and make an impact.
Great. In this next year, the agency is marking a milestone. What is that milestone you're coming up to?
So it's our 50th anniversary, which we are very excited about, very thrilled to share that with the community. We've got an event coming up in April where we'll be highlighting the anniversary. It'll be at the Kent State University Conference Center. And it'll be an evening event where we'll be celebrating, you know, our anniversary, but again, the impact that we've made with the kids and the families within our community. And then we're going to celebrate that throughout the year with our staff, and we're going to have different events along the way just to celebrate them and the achievements that we've had.
And they deserve to have a celebration. 50 years is a significant time for an organization to be helping the community that it's in. So that's amazing. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
I just welcome everybody to our website to come along with us on this next journey that we're going to be taking, the next 50 years, if you will, to learn a little bit more about us and what we do and the different programs that we have. You know, we have so many wonderful programs. We are in the schools. We have prevention programs. We're in the YMCAs. We're in you know, Boys and Girls Clubs. We partner with JRC. We have there's a plethora of different programs that we have where we touch so many different, you know, lives and people in the community, and I welcome anybody to get involved and learn about us.
Yeah. Can people volunteer or as a service to use?
Yeah, so we have different volunteer opportunities. It's a little challenging with some of the, you know, regulations and things that we have, but we also have, you know, different committees. We have an annual fundraiser called Let Your Light Shine. So if anybody's interested in getting involved in that in different capacities, we'd love to have your help. It's a fun event. We have a lot of fun planning it. We have a lot of fun that night. We're always taking, you know, donations for that event, obviously monetary, but even, you know, we do raffles and giveaways. And so there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for coming and representing. Congratulations on your new position. And thank you for watching. This has been Q&A with CNA.
Thanks so much.